bro. And it's this whole thing. It's very
Okay, so yeah, I came across this video while I was at work. So question, could top 40 players be number one if they travel back to the past? In my opinion, hell the fuck no. Period. No. Okay, you go back to 2014, take away their goon waves, take away their, the 5 controllers, take away their UCF, take away their Uncle Punch, take away all that shit, all the shit that they use to be as consistent as they are now. Take that shit away and then throw them against the wolves in their natural habitat and see how well they do. They're not coming out. They're not coming out on top. It's just not fucking happening. Prime PP, Prime West Balls, guys like Armada and shit. Especially given how, the direction that Melee is going and the way that people tend to play the game now compared to how it was played back then. No, they wouldn't. Okay. One reason why these guys is even consistent with their pivots, their shield drops and shit, their punishes and their all that shit. It's because they got good controllers that don't fucking wear out. Not to take away from their skill and whatnot, but back then it was vanilla Melee. And that was it. We seen the difference it made when Leffen fought Chillindude. I don't know if anybody remembers that match or not. Well, Chillindude won on vanilla Melee, but then when they had to run back on UCF, Leffen won. Like, taking away UCF makes a difference like that. I don't think they will last. Imagine someone like Bobby Big Balls fighting against, Prime Mewtwo King with no ledge grab limit. He doesn't have a 5 controller. He doesn't have the UCF. He doesn't have any of that. How do you think that's going to play out? I think Mewtwo King would just frustrate the fuck out of him. And Bobby will probably throw his fucking controller. I think that's how it's going to end. Granted, if you believe that he would, stomp Mewtwo King from, 2014 in the neutral game, which, I'll be honest, I don't think these players neutral are as great as the 5 gods in their prime. I really don't. Okay, PP's neutral even now, after being retired and not even taking Melee serious, was still able to hang with IBDW. Like, they're still like questioning, they're still asking the question, could Zane's Marth beat PP's Marth? And if you actually really look at it, back in the day, PP just looked cleaner. Okay, he looked like he had a firmer grasp on what it was he was gunning for and what he was looking for. But that's beside the point. Like, and I said it, and and I really know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me on a lot of this shit. It's cool. This is just opinion. Okay, I'm not talking about serious shit at the moment. But I really believe that back then it was harder to be at the top. Okay, we didn't have the tools back then that we did now. I started in 2013. So I was like in like the middle of it all when I first got started. When you got good back then, you really fucking earned that shit. Like, really earned that shit. Because back then, you wasn't getting, like, we have Slippy now, so I can just jump on, and even if the match is a shitty match, it's still a match. I can still get some Melee practice in. Back then, that shit wasn't happening. I was practicing tech skill and fighting bots back then. You want to fight a high level, player, if you're lucky, they'll show up at the tournament you got a chance to show up at. If you could even get there, and you got probably a couple matches with them, and then they'll get bored of whooping your ass, and then they'll go right back to fighting their friends who were just as good as they were. That's just how it went. All right. you were stuck just begging for friendlies whenever you got the chance. You didn't have Uncle Punch, okay, and then the controller struggles were fucking real. If your shit was fucked up, you out of the game. And then like Mewtwo King used to collect controllers because none of them were really fucking consistent. He would collect controllers and try to find the one that was the best one out of all of it. And then when they retired, now we got the Fob and we got, you know, all this shit. They're working on, you know, Hacks Money's coming out with Melee 1.03 and shit. They didn't have that shit back then. Imagine if Mewtwo King, PP, Armada never retired. I'm never retired. I'm not talking about them after they took a long break and now you're able to beat a guy who's rusty and you know, hasn't played in a long while. No, I'm talking about in their prime, they kept playing like Mango did, like Hungrybox did. I mean, Mango and Hungrybox are still in the top. Imagine PP, Armada, and Mewtwo King. They just never quit. And then they got access to controllers like the Fob and the fucking Goon Wave. And then they continued on, you know, through with that, with plus UCF and shit. With the way that these guys, you know, study the game. Armada would grind shit every fucking day. PP, he literally had a book on top players. No, I don't think that the top now could hang with the top back then. It was a completely different atmosphere. Okay, well, you lost back then. You felt helpless. Like you felt like you couldn't do shit. Like I couldn't even grab. Like when I first played S2J, the first time I fought, you know, I played against S2J, I felt helpless. I didn't know what the fuck to do. Granted, I was a lot worse back then, not gonna lie. But even when I look back at that match, when I remember it, I still don't know if I would do well or not. That was back then. And I'm comparing myself now to back then. I don't think. I mean, if they do, if they say they could, you know, you convinced me that they could win a major. And even Toph said this, and I agreed with Toph for once in this video, that even if they do get one major, they're not getting another one. They're not getting a second one. Armada, PP, all they would have figured out what the fuck you did and incorporated that play into their play style or found some counterplay to it. That's just how they were. They were fiends when it came to Melee. It was real shit back then. Like PP now was not PP back then. Back when he used to sweat playing Melee. Like it was serious back then. And then so much other shit why Melee was so much better back then. I think the era of the Five Guys was the golden age. I really do. And that's just me personally. This ain't even from like fucking nostalgia. Just even on a lower level, Melee play was more unique. It was more organic, okay? You had what you figured out on your own. That was it. Yeah, we had YouTube and we can watch, but you only could watch certain players. Now everybody's streaming. Everybody is on net play. I have a fucking YouTube channel. People come on my shit, you know, for whatever reason. You're watching my fucking videos, and some people even steal my tech, all right? Back then, that shit wasn't happening, okay? Unless you saw me do it at a tournament. Like, shit. It was way more organic. It was way more. It was rougher. It was grittier. Okay. Like I don't know. I don't know why people get this idea. You're comparing players who essentially have tools that make them look better to players who didn't have those tools. Give those players in their prime from 2014 the same shit, the Goon Wave, the way, you know, the fucking Fob and shit with UCF, and tell me that, you know, especially with, you know, technical fiends like West Balls and Silent Wolf still playing, Lovage was still, every now and then he'll pop up. technical marvels like that. Like the way they grind, even back then, the way they grinded was just different. Like I don't know, man. Like it was deeper than just playing matches against the top. Like find a top player and y'all play each other in matches for hours and hours. That's good, but West Balls used to just go to fucking on it, sit on that one bush, and just multi shine. Just cause. Like the shit was way different. It was way fucking different. So no, I don't think the top 20, top 40, top 50 could just go back in time and just fucking win. No, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a fucking struggle. And I think it's kind of disrespectful to even compare these players to the ones from back in the day when the players now wouldn't even be on the top without the shit that the ones from back in the day even created in the first place. A lot of these players ain't creating their own. That's why I play Pichu. I stopped trying with Falco because I'm just like, I'm living in somebody else's shadow. I'm just doing what other people. Yeah, I created some maneuvers and some shit, but then people ended up doing the shit I was doing. So I was like, fuck it. Fuck Falco. Okay? I don't even really practice the bird no more. I just do tech skill now. I'm not like looking for, neutral options and shit. I don't care. I really don't. Not with Falco. But with Pichu, it was a fucking gold mine. Just untapped potential. I grind with Pichu. It's just more fulfilling. But people used to do that with their own characters. One fox didn't look like the other fox. Now every fox looks the fucking same. It is not even like, and they're not even going the 20XX route. It's the year 20XX and every fox is technical. Nah, they're shit. I'm gonna hang back and, full hop a little bit and see if I can land a back air into an up smash or something. Like y'all are garbage. Falco laser, like they used to like shit on Falcos who just look like laser camped. If you're a Falco that laser camp, fuck you. You're a bitch. You a fucking bitch. They don't do that now. Now if you're laser camping, it's optimal. What the fuck? What the fuck is that shit? Falco needs laser. No, the fuck he doesn't. You got good neutral. You don't need lasers. You have creative setups and shit. I still every now and then could just run circles around people. Like, come on, bro. Or, good counter pokes, good counter play. No one's doing that shit. Nobody. Like, who? Who the fuck's doing that shit? And it's actually being successful about it. Shit was different. And then once people started retiring and shit, it's like Melee just, for me, it fucking died. Like, and I'm not talking about the competition and the because Melee's going strong with that. We're going strong in the esports and all that. I'm talking about like the spirit of Melee. It's like it feels dead, like empty. All right, I don't get excited anymore when we talk about Melee. When we watching, tournaments and shit, I don't get excited unless I'm like watching Axe play. That's because I like to watch somebody who is going against the grain. He's not going to just pick a high tier and stick with the high tier because everybody else and a mama did convinced him that the mid tier wasn't going to work. I don't give a fuck what IBDW says. I don't give a fuck what Mango and Hungry Box. I really don't. I don't give a fuck. You could tell me till you're blue in the face that Pichu is not worth it. I'm still going to play Pichu. And that's how Axe is with fucking Pikachu. People talk mad shit about him. He wins a major. Great, you won a major, but I don't think it's going to happen again. Like, what the fuck type of shit is that? That's why I watch Axe, because despite all that bullshit, he still sticks with old reliable. He still sticks to his guns. All right. Axe gave up on Falcon. Like, come on, man. At least Axe is still pulling strong and getting good placement. 4th place is not bad for a character that needs secondaries to make top 8. Like, fuck out of here, man. I'm sick of Melee now. as it looks. All right, you're so damn focused on being optimal and winning the match that you forget to just have fun with your character, and you forget to just, you know, try out different shit just for the sake of it. It doesn't have to work all the time. Just have fun with the shit. Remember when players used to just try to be cool for the sake of fucking being cool? Don't give a fuck about that. I see some of that with you know, Bab activated and Bobby Big Balls, but or no, and none, but that's few. Like, what the fuck? That's few and far in between. A lot of hypest moments come from the era of the Five Gods, which is kind of a damn shame. It should be hyper now. It should be crazier now. I mean, yeah, you're good. You won, but you're not sick. You're not somebody I will sit and watch play. Shit is boring. Like, Axe will stream some of the tournaments, the ones he doesn't go to, and he just be watching the guys play, and I'm kind of bored out of my fucking mind. I stay because it's Axe's stream, but the tournament itself, boring as shit. But then when Axe, you know, plugs in the game and him and Vector Man are just having fun and shit, that shit's hype as fuck. We need more of that. Like, damn. And then, you know, commentary got boring too. Everyone's got to be all official, and it's like, come on, bro. What? Bring back the old homemade waffles. Like, bring that shit back. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. I can't. I know. I'm probably just blinded by nostalgia, and probably gonna have a fuck ton of people disagree with me and point out, well, this was hype and this was hype and this was hype. But I'm just gonna be honest, the shit that impresses some of y'all does not impress me. Okay, and this is not me going, oh, I'm just better than you. No, it's just different viewpoint. Okay, it's just a different viewpoint. So don't take that shit personal. Gray matter, I'm out.